Hello everyone, Ryan here, back with another car vlog thing. It's been kind of a while since the last car vlog I did. Uh, in fact, my car was out of commission for a little bit. Had to get a nail removed from the back tire. But it's all good now. Got that fixed a couple days ago. But yeah. Actually, I tried recording several other different car vlogs before, and I guess I deleted them because I didn't like the. I actually ended up rambling on for way too long. I mean, well, I felt it was like a lot longer than I initially intended. But for this one, I just wanted to talk a little bit about, what's going on with these hurricanes, the weather patterns, the climate, and has. I mean, I know I've said before in other videos that I've uploaded and whatnot. We're all entitled to our own opinions about stuff, but for me, I just feel like, when something is staring you in the face, and not only that, but when all the data for something is available to the public, all it takes is a quick Google search and actually reading something. Yes, reading. This is where, this is why, I mean, one of the reasons why I like BookTube is that, we're a community of readers, and, we're able to talk about the stuff that we read, share what we read with each other. But also, too, I believe we should also try our best to reach out to people who consider themselves non-readers, however way we can. That's one thing that I definitely want to start doing more of, which I've tried to do in the past, but where I tried to suggest a book to a friend or someone, and obviously they're not interested because they don't consider themselves to be readers, and I don't know if maybe it's because they, too many people just in this country alone. I mean, never mind, worldwide, but just in the U.S. alone, it seems to me like there's way too many people that are actually proud to have never read an entire book. And well, yeah, it's, some people might find that hilarious. And I guess, yeah, it can be kind of hilarious, but when you really think about it, it's not hilarious. It should not be thought of as something hilarious, nor should it be thought of as, something that people should feel proud to boast about. I mean, but again, I'm just saying, if you don't like reading books, hey, that's your prerogative. I'm not going to try to tell you or anyone that, you should absolutely read a book or absolutely do something you don't want to do. But what I am saying is I do believe people should give reading a chance. They should still be open to the experience. Whether or not they consider themselves to be an avid reader or, bookworm or not, they should still at least be open to the experience. So anyways, I know I kind of went off on a little tangent, but what I mean, I got into the whole encouraging people to read more thing because of the fact that when it comes to something like climate change, and it's staring us in the face, and we have access to all the data, all we have to do is look it up and read it. And, because I feel like that's why such a large percentage of the population just here in the U.S. are uninformed and or misinformed, but either way, uninformed in some kind of way. Really, through no fault of their own, but, if they did take the time to actually look things up, they would at least be, a little more informed, And I mean, I'm not saying that I believe myself to be more superior than other. I mean, I know I do. I am aware that by me saying that I believe, a certain amount of people should read more or look things up more, I realize I am aware how that might come off to some people as me being arrogant or feeling like I'm above everyone else. And I know I want to clarify. I do not believe that. I do not consider myself to be superior to anyone or anything. I don't. I flat out don't. I'm going to put that out there. And, I do not believe myself to be more superior than anyone or anything on this planet Earth. Yes, planet Earth. By me saying this, that I believe people should read more, look stuff up more, it's me actually like caring a little bit. And yeah, just caring a little bit about the future of the country, but also just the overall future of mankind, the human race. I know that might seem like a lofty concept to most people, and I get that, but But anyways, yeah. So, for me, climate change is real. Whether or not mankind has completely caused it or not, to me, I feel like that really doesn't matter. I do, however, believe that it is very possible, very, very possible that that we have definitely had an influence on the climate because of the fact that just the cars, the vehicles we drive alone on a daily basis, that has emitted an extra amount of carbon, put an extra amount of carbon into the atmosphere. And if you don't know, that is not good. That's bad. It's bad, But I mean, I don't want to get into I don't want to bore anybody with the details of that, but it is a bad thing. And yeah, a planet does naturally change its climate over time. There is data to support that as well. Again, another thing that I want to encourage people to look up as well. But it doesn't mean that, first, it doesn't mean that we should completely deny these facts. Nor does it mean that we should ignore the fact that, yeah, it is very, very, again, very freaking likely that the human race has had a big impact on the climate of this planet. Yes. And yeah. And not only that, I mean, there's been a lot of scientists who've been saying for many decades that climate change is a real thing. And not only that, but that, if things continue going in a certain pattern, then it is possible that a lot of the coastal states here in the U.S. will eventually be submerged. And of course, and yes, they do have data to support their claims, which is very interesting. Again, another thing that I do want to encourage people to look up as well. So, knowing all of that, for me, I can't deny that climate change is a real thing. Global warming is a real thing. It's not some made-up fairy tale. It's not something that people made up in order to scare their kids into behaving. It's a real thing. To me, it's a real thing. Obviously, I know still there are many people that deny it. And I guess that's kind of the way, our reality tends to be most of the time, when you have, if I use the example of, say, like, even if like all the evidence is in front of a group of people who normally would deny something, and let's say it doesn't even have to be anything related to climate change, but let's say, let's say like a giant UFO appears in the sky and then slowly hovers down to the ground, like in a big open field somewhere. I don't know, just somewhere. And a group of extraterrestrial beings come out. They introduce themselves to whatever group of people happens to be there. And they provide as much evidence as they can to prove that they really are extraterrestrial beings from another planet. And I can definitely guarantee that there will still be a lot of people who will deny, they'll write off the whole thing as a hoax. Even if like they were to shake hands with all of these extraterrestrial beings, there'd still be a lot of people that would deny it. They would write it off. They say, oh, it's a hoax, it's fake, it's staged, they're a bunch of actors. And, I just use that as an example, as like one of the like just like the first thing that popped into my head, but I'm pretty sure you can get the gist of what I'm trying to say, that even when people are presented with all the evidence of a certain topic, and all the facts that are available, all the data, people will still deny it. And yeah, I guess you could say that's a part of what makes us human. That's one of the many things that, we tend to, we ultimately deal with on a regular basis. I mean, I'm not even really saying, I'm not saying that if you deny the existence of something like, if you deny something like climate change or whatever else, I'm not saying that necessarily makes you a bad person. I'm not saying that. I guess ultimately I'm just saying, I'd like for people to just, take a look at the evidence, the facts, the data. And if you still choose to deny something like climate change, then I say, hey, to each his own. At the very least, you bothered to actually do a small amount of research. And yeah. So I don't know, that's the way I feel. Again, obviously I know not everybody feels the same way. But hey, we're all entitled to our own opinions. So also too, I wanted to say, if you're watching this, I hope if you live in Florida, I hope you're doing all right. I hope that a lot of people were able to evacuate in time and are now somewhere safe. I actually did live in Florida for a good 4 or 5 years, and in the Tampa Bay area, and it was a really awesome experience for me, because it was the first time that I got exposed to a thriving music scene, and not only that, it was the first time that I hooked up with a band, an awesome all original rock band, I guess technically heavy metal, but mostly hard rock. And yeah, the first time that I was able to play with an awesome band and play at a lot of different bars and clubs and festivals and other festival type settings, and it was great. It was awesome, and I met a lot of really cool, awesome musicians, and it was an awesome experience for me. It was really cool, really great. And to add to that, the fact that I had access to so many beaches and not only that, but beaches and like forest areas. I was kind of surprised, because there are actual forest type, I guess technically wooded areas in Florida. Yeah, and I had a blast, being able to explore a lot in these different areas of not only Tampa, but really most of the entire state of Florida. And it was great. I mean, if I had to choose to like go back and relive that entire experience and do everything exactly the same, I definitely would. Yeah, I have absolutely no regrets. Spending the time that I did living in Florida, and because of that, I made some really great friends and connections. And as far as I know, I guess most of them, the people that I know who live in Florida, most of them have evacuated. There may be like one or two that I haven't heard from because I kind of lost touch with them. I hope they are safe as well. And yeah, I mean, me talking about climate change and the whole thing about the coastal states being submerged, I'm not saying that because I want that to happen. I don't want it to happen. I don't want to see people lose their homes. I don't want to see entire cities be destroyed or, flooded and who knows what else. I don't want to see that. I mean, who does want to see that? I don't. Maybe some people do, but I mean, I don't really want to see that. I don't even really want to think about it, but right now I can't help but think about it. It would definitely suck if that, if the worst actually happened. I hope it doesn't. I mean, I'm really hoping and praying. I mean, I don't really pray to any particular deity or, figure, just kind of like send my thoughts out into the universe. I'm not going to bother getting into a whole tangent about spiritual beliefs or whatnot. I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, I mean, ultimately, I want to encourage everybody to send positive thoughts, as many positive thoughts as you can, to the entire state of Florida. Also the entire East Coast too, because who knows how these hurricanes are going to behave, or what kind of patterns they're going to ultimately end up following. That's the thing about hurricanes. It's kind of like, it's almost like if they have a mind of their own or something, and very unpredictable. I mean, when I lived in Florida, I did experience several hurricanes. I lived in the Tampa area. When I was there, that's when Hurricane Charlie occurred. It was interesting. I was definitely terrified. I mean, thankfully, it didn't hit. Hurricane Charlie didn't directly hit Tampa, but it still got a lot of rain, a lot of like 100-mile-per-hour winds, and power went out. In my apartment, I was without power for, I want to say, like over a week. But at the same time, I was grateful to be alive, and it's still ultimately grateful to be there in Florida too. I mean, except for the hurricane, but experiencing Hurricane Charlie and then also experiencing other hurricanes that followed him. But yeah, I do hope everyone ends up being okay in Florida. I guess at this point, that's all we can do. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to end this car vlog. Thanks for watching. And until next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.